Alright, so we have Marcin Tybura versus Alexander Volkov. Volkov comes in with a 4-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. He's also got the power advantage over Tybura. I don't think Tybura has a great deal of power, honestly. Relative to the heavyweight division, I don't think he has too much power. I think he's been in the UFC for like 15 fights or something, and he's got 0 knockdowns with his hands, so I don't think he has too much power. But yeah, Tybura is a counter boxer with a shoddy chin and not much power, so what could go wrong? But yeah, he needs to be in close. He looks to return with hooks after being hit. As soon as he gets hit, he looks to return with hooks. He's actually got decent counters inside. Looks for the counter 2-3 or the counter 3 when he's in orthodox. He's a little loosey-goosey with his guard. Like, his right hand never really comes up. And on the fence, he just kind of rope-a-dopes with his loosey-goosey guard. And I think Volkov will just be very happy to just be patient and pick his shots when Tybura does this. Just as he did in the Overeem fight. Like, Overeem was just covering up on the fence. Volkov just very patient, picked his shots. Yeah, Volkov is a good striker. He's got good distance management, nice use of the jab on the front foot. He's got a nice jab. He starts throwing it a lot more. He starts upping the volume on his jab when he finds a bit of success with the jab. He's also got very nice straight punches, straight right. The counter 2 looks for uppercuts when the opponent is dipping. Nice kicks as well. Inside low kick versus a southpaw. Lead leg outside low kick versus southpaw fighters. Likes to finish combinations with kicks. We saw his kicking against Cyril Gane. He's got a nice kicking game. He made that a pretty competitive fight against a very good fighter in Cyril Gane. One thing Tybura does do is that he will square his stance frequently when he is advancing, and I feel like that's going to walk him onto the front kicks or the front kicks and the teeps of Alexander Volkov. I think, it's just going to be walking him square onto those. In regards to the grappling, Tybura looks to drive a takedown onto the fence. Nice reactive double, I guess. Body lock, outside leg trips on the fence. That's generally what he goes to. Tries to get in the clinch and then look for the trips. He's got good control on top. He doesn't get too over aggressive, go for like silly submissions or anything. Knows what he has to do, knows he has to get top control. And I think that is Tybura's path to victory here, because Volkov, he locks his guard on bottom and his guard is purely defensive, and Tybura will be happy to just sit all day in his guard. And Volkov, he has been pretty easily controlled against the fence. I think against Verdum was controlling him pretty easily, so that's a path to victory as well for Tybura. But one thing Tybura looks to do, most of his takedowns do come off like caught kicks, and he looks to catch kicks a lot and look to take the opponents down. But the type of kicks that Volkov throws, they're like quick and they're snapping, they're kind of... He doesn't hang around for too long with his kicks, like as you would in a roundhouse kick to the body. Like, it's kind of there to be caught because you're trying to kick through your opponent. He just tries to kind of prod with his kicks. So it's going to be harder for Tybura to catch the kicks of Volkov here. But maybe if Volkov wears those ankle straps, then maybe it might be a little bit easier. But yeah, it is what it is. So how these guys win fights: good top control for Tybura, good chin for Volkov, and both are very well conditioned for heavyweights. How these guys lose fights: so for Volkov, his takedown defense and his bottom game isn't ideal, for sure. And for Tybura, his chin doesn't seem great. He gets wobbled basically every fight. He does have a lot of heart though. He will stay on his feet. Like, you can hit him with a few good shots. Like a lot of the shots that he gets hit with, like clean, because of his striking rope-a-dope defense, they would definitely just crumble a lot of heavyweights, but he manages to stay up pretty well when he does get rocked. So I think he's got a lot of heart, but his chin does fail him a little bit, and his striking defense does fail him a little bit. Path to victory for these two. So for Tybura, no secret, I think the wrestling heavy approach, I think the leg kicks, with the intention of just shooting a takedown over his return kick, because every time you kick Volkov, he looks to return with a kick of his own. So that's a kickboxing tendency that he has, and yeah, if you leg kick him, he's going to return with one, but as he's returning, you shoot with a takedown. For Volkov, don't let him have the front foot. Look to take the front foot off him. He's much less effective on the back foot. Look to snipe with the front kick when he goes southpaw. Look to, throw combos. Exploit that loose guard. Also, just poor optics. If you got him against the fence, you're just teeing off on him or just picking your shots, it's very good optics for you. So how I see the fight going: So a bit of a step up for Tybura for sure. Volkov just had a somewhat competitive fight with the soon-to-be champ Cyril Gahn, and Tybura's 5-fight win streak has been all pretty favourable in hindsight. You know, Walt Harris, 0 grappling. Greg Hardy, 0 grappling. Ben Rothwell, yeah, just gassed out, I guess. But yeah, like, you know, all these guys have very poor defensive grappling, and you could say the same with Volkov for sure. I think Tybura definitely needs to wrestle here. Volkov, he will put him out on the feet for sure. I think Tybura's chin is basically done. I don't think he can take too much more damage. He's been able to rely on his grappling to grind out fights of late, but I think he's going to need a big grappling performance here as well. And, you know, it's certainly possible with, you know, Volkov's takedown defense not being elite and his bottom game being a little bit it's just lacking. His bottom game, it's a little bit too passive for me. Looks to lock his guard and stay in that position. I think Volkov's takedown defense is good enough to stuff the takedowns that Tybura is going to go for if he does get taken down, but it's probably going to be the round if Volkov does get taken down, because he doesn't really look to get back to his feet at all, does Volkov. He's got a very defensive guard, so I can't see Marcin getting any serious like damage off on top. I think the path to victory for Tybura is just the lay and pray method, or just pressing Volkov against the cage for 15 minutes. I don't ever see him really finishing Volkov, but, you know, weird things happen in MMA. I also like that Volkov's been coming in a lot heavier since his loss to Curtis Blades. He looked very slim in the Curtis Blades fight, and since then he's put a lot of mass on, and he's walking around a lot heavier, and that's seemed to help him defend takedowns a little bit better. But yeah, I feel like he's gonna walk Tybura down and find the kill shot eventually. But yeah, I can't lay that price at him because of the defensive, or the bottom game that he's shown in his career. So let's have a look at the betting lines. Alright, so if you guys like the video, it really helps out the channel a lot. So prediction is Volkov by KO. To have a look at the betting lines, I think he's a little bit too much of a favourite. I'd probably play Tybura if I was to play anything. Tybura by decision, I'd probably play that as well. Yeah, but I guess I'm looking at the Tybura side in terms of value. So yeah, that's what I like for this fight.